Hello, in this video I want to review some of the features of the Yoast SEO plugin for the WordPress site. So right now I am in the admin section. I'm looking at the list of published posts, so I'm going to look into an article that's already been published to see if we can help its search rankings just a little bit more. This can be done before it's published, after it's published, anytime. Probably be better if it's done beforehand, but I don't want to go into anything that's currently being worked on, so I want to do something that's already out there and is on the website. And I'm going to use this one right here as an example because this is a good topic and probably has a lot of good information in there that we can make even better for search on the internet. So here we are, we're in the article. This is the regular editor, and by default your editor is probably going to look like this, where you have the settings on the right side for your blocks and everything. I want to use the Yoast SEO plugin. So if I look on the top right here, there's this Y with the two red dots next to it. That is the Yoast SEO plugin, as you can see as I hover over there. When I click on that, it's going to open up a new set of features here on the right. And we're not going to go into every single thing. I'm just going to go in the most prevalent things, the things that we need to worry about the most, and in time you can go a little deeper into the other things like the Twitter and Facebook preview. But today I'm just going to look at the Google preview and different things that it ranks within the plugin. So you'll see, first of all, we have a frowny face here under the readability analysis. I'm not going to go into this too much. This is just about how it's written, passive voice, active voice, things like that. This is just a writing analysis, and it may or may not be something that we want to use as a guideline, but that's not the focus here. We want to look at the SEO analysis, search engine optimization. So when I click this open and twirl it down so we can see everything, we're using the free version, so we're not on the premium one. That's why that advertisement's there. Ignore that. We come down here and it ranks things as either problems, can use improvement, or good results. So first, let's look at the good results part. I'm going to go with the good stuff first. First of all, outbound links. So if I scroll through this article, I can see there's links. We have a link going to the state's website about COVID vaccines. We have a link going to the VAM's website. So we have a lot of external links. That's really good. A lot of the ways search engines rank your website or any website is based on how well it connects to the rest of the internet. If it's by itself and doesn't connect out, it doesn't get as well ranked. So that is helpful for the rankings. So outbound links, good job. Text length. So this also considers it a good length of text. I'm not sure how it gets that score. If we ever are curious about how it comes to any of these decisions, if you click on the blue link here, it's going to open up a window on their website, and they have articles about all the things about length, links, all that stuff. So if you're ever curious about why it's ranking what it is ranking, you can always click on these headlines here where the blue links are, and it'll give more description of that. So like the next thing, the things that need improvement, image, alt attributions. Now I don't actually see images. There's probably a featured image for this article, and that's what it's really referring to in this one. So you want to add a key phrase to the image itself. So one thing, we name our images when we're uploading them, but it's also important to put a description in the image as well, because that does help it with the search engines. Meta description length. Meta description is too short, so we're going to look at that in a moment as well. And then at the top here we have SEO title width. The SEO title width is wider than the viewable limit, so we're going to look at that. Key phrase length. There is no focus key phrase currently, and there are no internal links. Internal links are just links that go to different articles within the website, so it really ranks it if you're referring back to other articles. So if you're doing a continuing series on a topic or something like that, it's important to, at the end of it, refer back to previous articles about it. So if you're doing a series about farms, link back to other stories about farms. Or if you're talking about the bridge that's been closed and now it's open, link back to the original story about it being closed. Things like that will help the search engines boost up the website higher in the rankings. So I'm going to scroll down here at the bottom. At the bottom below the editor, we see the Yoast SEO area here, and we have a lot of things. So first of all, focus key phrase. You're like, what is the focus key phrase? Again, if there's a little question mark next to there, if I click on that, it's going to open up an article and talk more about it. So if you want to get a little bit more in depth, but it's looking for a key phrase as a search term that you want to be relevant to the article. For a key phrase, you want the key phrase to actually come up in the article. And actually, they recommend it be, for it to come up more than once in the article, so it's not something that just comes up once in the first sentence, but something that comes up multiple times. So I can just search through this and kind of look for something that might be a good idea. Usually something in the first paragraph is a good idea. So there's a lot of quotes in this article, so it's hard to find exactly what might be the best one, but vaccine appointment is kind of a topic that we see throughout. So I'm just going to copy it from here. I'm going to come down to my key phrase and paste it in. And you'll see on the right here, it's changed it. Now, I have different things about key phrase and title. Not all the words in your key phrase are in the title. So I put vaccine appointment. I don't see that, although it says vaccination appointment. So we have kind of a different thing. So maybe if let's change it slightly to vaccination appointments. Let's see what that happens. So it's changing again. It still likes it, but it doesn't like it a lot. So this is something also, as we're writing articles and we're editing them, we might say, okay, well, vaccination appointments are in the title. Maybe we can add those into the paragraph somewhere. Just rephrase some of the paragraphs a little bit, sentences, so that way we have that in there. So maybe here where it says vaccinations for individuals, maybe we say vaccination appointments for individuals over age of 75. That might help it a little bit more in the ranking. So every little tweak we do does help the ranking of the article just a little bit. So if I come down here to where it says Google Preview, and Google, let's be honest, it's the most used search engine in the world, so let's focus on Google before we focus on anybody else. It's automatically going to pull things from the title to make the preview. So this is a preview. This is what it's going to look like on the internet. Currently we're on mobile results. If I click on this little bubble here, it's going to show what it looks like on a desktop result. But you can see the entire article, Connecticut residents over 65 can register for blah, blah, blah. That's not the whole title. So we might want to change some of that, because you can see down here my SEO title, it's automatically pulling these different variables to create that title. So it's automatically pulling the title, the page separator, site title, to make this title. So if my article title is too long for the SEO title, I can come down here and I can actually erase some of this stuff, and instead of it being just the regular title, I'm going to look at the original title, Connecticut residents over 65. So we can abbreviate Connecticut to CT, residents over 65 can register February 11th. These are the things we're looking for. So let's start typing in maybe a shorter version of that title. So CT, now see there's a bar underneath here. As soon as I got to there, I'm going to back up a little bit, it's orange here, so it's telling me it's too short. Got here, now it's green. That's in the good zone. Once we hit green, we're good. But of course I haven't completed an actual word yet, so let's finish it out. CT residents over 65 can register for COVID-19 vaccine starting, and the all-important date is February 11th. So let's just make it 2/11. We're abbreviating it. It's going to look a little bit different than what the actual site title is, the article title, but that's okay, because we want to put the most important information in a title that can be seen on mobile devices or on desktops. And honestly, I would say that if this is what we can see on the search results, we should probably shorten our overall title sometimes to match that as well, so that way as people are looking at on their devices, their phones, their tablets, their computers, they can see that whole title without having to click on it all the time. So now we are good. We're in the green zone. You can see we have a lot more good results over here on the right now. If you look to the right here on our Yoast SEO plugin on the right, all these things are good. We have outbound links, key phrase introduction, key phrases length, previously used key phrase. You've not used this key phrase before, that's good. Text length, the text length is good. SEO width, title width now, that is good. Keyphrase is in the slug. Great work. So all these things have significantly increased. That yes, there's still things we can improve on, but you can see there's still 4 problems here. There's 2 things that can use improvement, but we've already created a much better title. So on mobile devices, this is what it's going to look like now. On desktop, this is what it'll look like now. So we've really improved a lot of the features of this article to increase our search engine results. Now I can also come down here in my meta description, because there's really nothing in my meta description. So what is a meta description? Again, you could click on the meta description over here on the right and see what Yoast talks about meta descriptions. But in my brief summary of a meta description, so usually meta descriptions are hidden words on a website. Like you as the reader going to a website never see the meta description, but all websites that have been designed well have a meta description in the background that is being read by the search engines. So I can take some highlights from my article. I can even just lift parts from the introduction if I wanted to and put those in my meta description. So I could just, let's see what this happens. I'm going to copy half of this first sentence and just paste it into my meta description. It might be too long. Yeah, it's too long. See, meta description is over 165. So, now this is where I start abbreviating things, because we don't need all the words. We just need the keywords. There, I just got rid of some of the words that, they're important words, but for the meta description, they made it too long. And now that I've shortened it down, it still says the same information. Governor Lamont announced that Connecticut residents over 65 will be eligible to schedule COVID-19 vaccination appointments starting on Thursday, February 11th. And now I have a green line underneath saying that I have a good length from my meta description. So now I have 9 good results over here on the right. I still have some key phrase problems, things like that. These problems right here would require me rewriting part of the article. I'm not going to do that because this has already been published. That would be something that the editors could go in and do and tweak if they want to really boost those rankings. Again, I don't have any internal links. I could also look at previous articles that we've written in the newspaper and link back to those at the end of the article or even in the text itself if I wanted to increase that ranking as well. But everything else is looking really good. The only improvement I need is if I want to go to that featured image and change the description inside of there, that would help boost that as well. But in this particular article, I don't think that is the most important thing. The image attributes are really when I have images in the article. I want to make sure I have good description on that, but I know for this article we're kind of using a generic image for the topic itself. So I think all that looks good now, and I haven't changed anything about the article itself. The article itself, I did not change any of the words in this article. They're all exactly as the author wrote them or when it was published. All I did was change things in the background that the reader will never notice, but the search engines of the world, Google, Yahoo, Bing, and what have you, will notice them a lot. So now that I've done that, because I have editor privileges, I can just go ahead and hit the update button here, and I've updated that article. It will now do better in Google search results, and it'll help the newspaper overall do better, this article do better, and if we keep those little habits going forward with all the articles, it's going to help the entire paper be higher up on the search results on Google, Yahoo, Bing, and DuckDuckGo, any other search engine that's out there. And that is it. That is how we used, as briefly, how you can use Yoast SEO to increase your search results for your content on your WordPress powered website.